Not just a parade, China's aircraft carrier shows its teeth in the world's financial harbor. On July 3, 2025, China's aircraft carrier Shandong was reported to have visited Hong Kong. This marks the first time the domestically built aircraft carrier has visited the former British colony since officially joining the Chinese Navy at the end of 2019. This visit was no ordinary one. It coincided with the 28th anniversary of Hong Kong's return to China for British rule and served to reaffirm a symbol of unity and national strength amid increasingly complex geopolitical dynamics. Unlike China's first aircraft carrier, Liaoning, a reconstruction of the Soviet-era carrier Varyak, Shandong symbolizes self-reliance and a technological leap in China's maritime industry. Built entirely at the Dalian shipyard, the vessel stands as proof that the country no longer depends on foreign legacy platforms to shape its naval combat power. Weighing over 70,000 tons with a flight deck capable of hosting more than 40 fighter jets and helicopters, Shandong is more than just a floating airbase. It is a mobile fortress, a projection of power and a reflection of China's global ambitions on the blue seas. Its presence in Hong Kong waters sends a deeper message than just marking an anniversary. When Shandong entered Hong Kong's harbor, it was not alone. It was escorted by 2 destroyers and a frigate. The Yinan, Type 055, classified as a super destroyer. The Zhangjiang, Type 052D, long a backbone of China's naval power. And the Yunqing frigate Type 054A. Together, they form an ideal representation of China's increasingly sophisticated and integrated naval combat capability. It's fair to say this fleet's arrival was more than ceremonial. It was a strategic show of force and a demonstration of military professionalism to the people of Hong Kong. Imagine a full aircraft carrier strike group appearing in a harbor better known as a global financial hub and civilian port, a site once reserved for military documentaries or footage of superpower naval parades. Public enthusiasm in Hong Kong over the arrival of Shandong was notably high. The government opened up 10,000 tickets for citizens to directly tour the warships. Of those, 2,000 were allocated for visits to Shandong, with the rest for the escort ships. Surprisingly, all tickets were snapped up within seconds. The enthusiasm wasn't just for nationalists, but also from ordinary citizens curious to witness the massive carrier up close. Many who couldn't get tickets still came to watch from afar. For China's central government, the visit carried deep symbolic significance. The chief executive of Hong Kong called Shandong's arrival a live national education class, showcasing China's progress and the importance of national identity. Through this visit, the principle of one country, 2 systems was reasserted, that even though Hong Kong maintains its own legal and political system, sovereignty remains under the People's Republic of China. This visit also served as a direct response to skepticism and criticism following the massive protests of 2019. The message was clear: China's sovereignty over Hong Kong is not just a paper promise. It's backed by real military power that now dominates not only land and air, but also the seas. Before Shandong, only one Chinese aircraft carrier had ever visited Hong Kong, Liaoning, which arrived in 2017 to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the city's handover for Britain. However, Liaoning is not an original Chinese-built vessel. It was a Soviet carrier purchased in a neglected state and later modernized domestically. Although Liaoning symbolized the early rise of China's naval power, its presence lacked the symbolic weight carried by Shandong. Now, with a fully homegrown carrier in the fleet, China is not only showcasing its technical prowess, but also sending a message that it is ready to stand equal to and even challenge U.S. dominance in the Western Pacific. The arrival of Shandong in Hong Kong is clear proof that the era of dependence is over. Shandong is the result of China's relentless efforts to build a domestic aircraft carrier fleet. It took nearly a decade to design, construct, and test this vessel before it was officially commissioned. A new generation of Chinese naval fighter pilots is trained on board to take off and land on its flight deck. The ship is also equipped with AESA radar, a digital command center, and is fully integrated with the Beidou satellite network. In other words, Shandong is not just a symbol of physical strength, but also of the digital sophistication and technological ambition of China's military development. The presence of Shandong in Hong Kong's harbor inevitably caught the world's attention, especially from rival powers. Japan and Taiwan, which often clash with China, both express concern. Taiwan, in particular, having been the target of recent Chinese military drills, viewed this as a show of force that could threaten regional stability. Meanwhile, the United States responded cautiously. While it acknowledged that aircraft carrier visits are a sovereign right of any nation, Washington viewed this as part of China's growing assertiveness in the South China Sea and beyond. Adding to the tension, U.S. carriers have rarely been granted permission to dock in Hong Kong in recent years, highlighting an increasingly wide diplomatic rift. In a move seen as a direct counter, a U.S. aircraft carrier made a port call to the Philippines on the same day as China's Shandong visit. This was no ordinary coincidence, as the U.S. and the Philippines have deepened their cooperation ever since President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. began openly opposing China's expansive claims over the South China Sea.